Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. And on that note, we're going to begin with Lord, Prepare Me. It goes like this. Ve'asu li mikdash ve'shachanti betocham va'anachnu nivarech Yah me'atah V'yad olam. Lord, prepare me. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Well, welcome those of you that are watching on Zoom and those that are here. Thank you for being here. I hope our friend Mark Nedlin will be going around and asking you at some point for your names and emails so that we can start to connect you and get to know you better, and we can make you feel a part of a community. So, because of the summer months is kind of scarce. We don't want you to feel that way. So, I'm Cantor Rochelle Nelson, is pleased because there's some beautiful new faces, so welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. Rabbi Amy Morrison is on vacation. I am her chazan, her cantor. And so she has given me so graciously the opportunity to lead your services this evening. On the piano is my incredible accompanist, Pat Seymour. And back in the sound booth is Maria Ayerbe, and a Grammy Award winner for her beautiful music, and along with her technical expertise that adds so much to our Shabbat. We have helping us in the sanctuary, your name is Alex. Alex, yes. Handsome Alex is here with us, along with some other wonderful people. And we have some of our congregants. So let's just feel that sense of Sabbath, and let's light the candles, and let's let the light in, not only to the room, but mostly into our hearts. I also want to thank, as always, Brian Leslie. Brian, these flowers tonight are really gorgeous, and my mother was a great lover of sunflowers, so I thank you for your beautiful flowers that brighten our bima. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. Amen. So you're looking at this big contraption. Hi, guys. Wow, look who just walked in the room. My campers, all my beautiful kids. This is so wonderful. All right, guys, we got Rachel and Ethan and Laura back from Camp Coleman. Was it great? All right. Maybe you want to come up and, do you want to come up tonight? Maybe you just chant the Ve'ahavta or something? Beautiful. Okay. When we get there, I'm bringing you up. Hi, moms. Thank you for bringing them. It's so beautiful to see their faces when they come back from camp. It's like they've seen God, but they've seen it through the eyes of each other, and they've seen it through the eyes of being together in a beautiful mountainous area and in prayer and song. So I started to tell you, I have this big contraption on my hand, but it's not as terrible as it looks. They just make it look terrible. I have a great love for animals. In fact, my puppy is over there, my service dog, sleeping next to Pat, her favorite person, one of her favorite people. She's waiting for Reagan, but I don't know if Reagan's coming, but she's ready. And a 60-pound or so Labradoodle jumped up anxiously to kiss me, but I wasn't aware that Labradoodle was jumping up, so it caught me off guard. I fell down, mostly on my hand, the wrist that I had broken 4 years ago when I slipped coming out of the pool. And so I didn't break it completely, thank God, this time, but I did enough damage. So it's doing great, and I want you to get scared of it. I'm not in any pain, except when I'm not talking. Okay, I'm going to ask you all to greet each other. Go ahead, turn around, say hello to somebody. Get out of your seat. Welcome each other. And if you don't want to use hands, give each other an elbow or whatever you'd like. Good job, Miss Alex. I'm going to come down and kiss the kids real quick. Hi, Cindy.
Nice to meet you in person.
All right, Jim. Shabbat shalom. It's okay. It's okay. No, Oh, and to mommies. Don't worry if you don't see anybody on the screen. We're here. We're just welcoming each other. And I hope you're welcoming each other. Going in the chat, Adam and Linda and Stuart and Sarah and Ben and Carla. Welcome each other. Say good Shabbos to one another. It's a wonderful thing to do. All right, we're going to continue. So if you'll pick up your prayer book, if you don't have one, Mark is standing in the back of the room and he'll be glad to give you one. And we're going to continue on, it's on page 15, the last two lines of Hebrew, and on the left side is the transliteration. Hariu l'Adonai kol haaretz, pitzchu v'ranenu v'zameru. And it raise a shout to Adonai, all the earth, break into joyous songs of praise. Hariu. The first part's really easy because you just have to know the word na. Na. Here we go. I think you're going to like this. Look how far Jewish music has come, right? Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Try it. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Hariu l'Adonai kol haaretz. L'Adonai kol haaretz. L'Adonai kol haaretz. Pitchu v'ranenu v'zameru. V'ranenu v'zameru. V'ranenu v'zameru. Zamenu. Here we go. Na 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 na. Everybody. La 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 la. Na 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 na. Shalom Aleichem, page 24. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Third verse. Baruch Hu Nila Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nila Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nila Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Amen. Hakadosh Hu. Tzedechem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedechem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedechem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Going from that very kind of a Eastern melody, and then we started the service with something gospel, and now we're gonna get very much more Latino. So get ready for Lecha Dodi, verses 1, 2, 3, and 9. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, page 20. Ene Shabbat, Nikabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Ene Shabbat. Shamor v'zachor, b'dibur echad. Hishmi'anu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. L'shemu tiferet, v'litila. Lecha dodi, likrat kala. Ene Shabbat, Nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala. Ene Shabbat, Nikabela. Verse 2. Likrat Shabbat, vehu v'nelcha. Ki mikor habracha. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Now if you would rise and face the entrance of the sanctuary, we are going to do what they do. Oh, that's right, Jeannie's hiding. We're going to do what they do in the Sephardic communities when they welcome the Sabbath bride, because we're reminded that the Sabbath is as beautiful as a woman is on the day she's a bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. Then we bow. Boi chala, a bow again. Boi chala, and then come back to me. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Please stay standing, because we're going to go into the Baruch Hu in just 1 minute. But I want to just tell you what you were just doing. Judaism is incredible. I'm just speaking from someone who's completely not prejudiced, but not only is our prayer and our liturgy so rich in our culture, but we even added dramaturgy to our prayer service. When you bow and when you lift the cup of wine and when you do many things, we don't just stand still in our sanctuary, and we never have, you know? So we call this dramaturgy, because what you really do is you're acting out. And when we open the ark, we rise and we feel that sense that we were at Sinai. So you will never be ever just the frozen people. You will be the chosen people. So allow yourselves to move along and be in the spirit and clap and whatever moves you. You want to get in the aisle and dance? Fine with me. I love it. All right. So now we'll continue with the Baruch Hu, which you can find on page 28. Lai, 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 ya la la lai, ya la la lai, la lai, lai. Lai, 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 ya la la lai, ya la la lai, la lai, lai. Ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch Hu Adonai Vorach. Now you bow. Baruch Adonai Olam Vaed. And now the Chazan. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Olam Vaed. Lai, 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 ya la la lai, ya la la lai, la la lai. Lai, 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 ya la la lai, ya lai, 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 lai. on page 32. I'm keeping you up because it's going to come up pretty fast. But if you'd like to sit for the Ahavat Olam, you can. But following that, we'll be going into the Shema. Your choice. You can sit, you can stand on one foot. I mean, Hillel did that. So whatever you want. Ahavat Olam. Page 32. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta. Torah u'mitzvah, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, shofteinu uvkumeinu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nishmach b'divrei toratecha, mitzvotecha leolam vaed, ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu uvehem negeh yomam v'layla yevatecha tasim imenu leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto leolam vaed. And with my Camp Coleman and my not Camp Coleman, but incredible B'nai Mitzvah students all come up to help me lead the V'ahavta. You can be seated, please. These are incredible kids. All three of them had their bar bat mitzvah this year, right before they went to camp, ish. And 2 out of 3 went to Camp Coleman. And you know what, Maria, can you turn on this other mic so I can get them good and loud? And I'll put you guys over here. Come. There we go. Come gather. Lead us in this beautiful prayer, this love poem to God, as well as what it teaches us of how to be a good Jew. ואהבת
את אדוני אלוהיך
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך,
והיו הדברים האלה אשר אלוהים מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Thank you all. And by the way, I forgot to mention, you are going to be leading us, along with me, of course, and the rabbi, in our youth services for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. I just forgot to tell you. And of course, you can't say no if you're up here in front of the bima. I love you guys. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're home safe. All right. So we're going to continue now, talking a little bit about freedom. But let's read something together. So turn to page 39, and let's all read together. Page 39, at the top. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, who is like you, Eternal One. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh. No ra tehilot oseh vele, no ra tehilot oseh vele Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Ze Eli anu v'yomeru, Ze Eli anu v'yomeru Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Mi chamocha, everyone. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh. So, we're going in a moment to sing the Hashkivenu. But really, what is the Hashkivenu about? It's like a lullaby. Its words, of course, you can find on page 42. As you can see, we have all these different melodies that I'm singing tonight because when I grew up in my conservative synagogue, I knew exactly what melodies we were going to sing at every service. And some of you grew up the same way I did. You knew which Adon Olam it was going to be, and you called those your traditional melodies. But the world has changed so much, and music continues to move forward, and so does the music of the Reform movement. It echoes what goes on, the changes in this world, the joy, the delicacies, the pain. It all comes through in this music. So we're going to sing the Hashkivenu as soon as I take a sip of water. Oh, that's so helpful. Hashkivenu, page 42. This is my personal rendition, my own composition of how I feel and hear the Hashkivenu blessing. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. When I close my eyes at night, I'm thankful to feel whole. Hear my words of gratitude emerging from my soul. Guide me with your words of wisdom, comfort me in song. Let me sleep with dreams of peace till morning comes along. Hashkivenu, you can join me. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'ha'amidenu shomreinu
לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. When we close our eyes at night, we pray that you are near. Hold us gently in your arms and take away our fears. Guide us with your words of wisdom, let it light our way. Keep us safe within ourselves, hear us when we pray. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. L'chaim, to life. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. And that is a blessing that we utter at night, reminding ourselves that we are so blessed when we can wake up in the morning and know that we were asleep and we woke up from our sleep. Nothing could be more beautiful. We turn now to page 46 for the central part of our service, the tefillah, otherwise known as the Amidah, the standing prayer. And if you would please rise, we're on page 46. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'onei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Yisrat Saram, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, B'chayei Kol Atah Rav Le'Hoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayei Hakol B'Rachamim Rabim, Sohomech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Mehalach, Melech Meimit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanat Lahachayot Hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol. Page 52. Atah Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim b'Chol Yom Yahalucha Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. I I think I hear myself going in and out and in and out, yeah? But maybe if I stand perfectly still, which is almost impossible since I was born, maybe I can do it. Okay, you may be seated. Okay. The next song you have is Eli, am I correct? Modim, okay. So you know how much gratitude, how much grateful all of us need to be, but sometimes it's really hard to be grateful. If things are difficult in your life, if you're in pain, if you have a family member who's suffering, if you've had a loss, if you're struggling with your own emotional issues, which we all are at different times in our lives, it's really hard to feel grateful. But that's even more the reason why you've got to feel gratitude. Because if you can feel, then you're blessed. If you can feel pain, you're blessed, and should be grateful. If you can feel things aren't going right in your world, you still should be grateful. And if you're feeling everything is going beautifully for you, again, you should be grateful. Because you see, there is no such thing as a perfect world, and there's no such thing as a perfect us, a perfect you, a perfect me. We've all got stuff. We've all got baggage. And I'll tell you another thing. If you think it gets lighter as you get older because you're now more mature, I have something to tell you. Nah, it doesn't. It doesn't get easier. What does get easier is your maturity and your ability to see who you are, see your strengths, see your weaknesses, see your vulnerabilities, and then be able to say, you know what, I need to work on this. I'm going to work on it because I don't want to live the rest of my life this way. And that's hard for a young person, but as we grow older, we can do that. And if we really want to work hard and really put ourselves into it, we can make huge changes. And for that, we can be grateful. And so many years ago, I think 22-ish years ago, 22 maybe, I wrote my own rendition of Modim Anachnu Lach, and I'm going to sing it tonight, I hope that you will find gratitude in all the different places in your life and in your soul. Modim Anachnu Lach. Modim Anachnu Lach. You are our God, rock of our life. Modim Anachnu Lach. You are our God, shield of salvation, forever and ever. Modim Anachnu Lach. Forever, morning, noon, and night, Modim Anachnu Lach. Modim Anachnu Lach. We sing your praises, we sing your praises. Modim Anachnu Lach. Compassionate One, merciful Lord, forever and ever. Modim Anachnu Lach, forever. Morning, noon, and night, Modim Anachnu Lach. Our lives are in your hands. Our souls are in your keeping. Your miracles surround us day by day. Our lives are in your hands. Our souls are in your keeping. Your never-ending love is always never-ending love has been our hope. We will never stop praising your name. take a couple moments to thank God for all we have, reminding ourselves that so long as we don't feel completely numb, we have so much to be grateful for. Let's take these next moments, pray the blessings of your heart, pray for peace in this world, pray for a kinder world, and a safer one for our beautiful children. My God. Eli, Eli, שלא ייגמר לעולם. Eli, Eli, שלא ייגמר לעולם. Eli, Eli, שלא ייגמר לעולם. אלי, אלי, שלא ייגמר לעולם. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. Eli, Eli, שלא ייגמר לעולם. אלי, אלי, שלא ייגמר לעולם. אלי, אלי, שלא ייגמר לעולם. אלי, אלי, שלא ייגמר לעולם. I have a little message to share with you this evening. You know, for most of my young life, I had no idea what Torah really was and really what it meant. It was just this big scroll with a bunch of books in it and rather boring as far as I was concerned, until, of course, I started to get educated. And then I realized that Torah is what drives our lives as Jews. It's the decisions we make, whether to live in a good life or a life that is full of anger and jealousy, that we can find our answers in Torah. It's the place where, if we're struggling, in a sense of how to live and feel like we can lead and not be sheep, that's where you find your answers. It's where you go when you are in a relationship that's troubling or has difficulties, or in one that's full of joy and goodness. You'll find your answers, many of them, right in the Torah. And it's not just so much in the actual words in the 5 scrolls, and you can see behind the gates we have more than one Torah. But for those of you that don't know, the Torah is just a scroll just a scroll. It's our soul, it's our lifeblood. But in it contains 5 books that are all rolled into one large scroll: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Now, if you're talking about a Bible, an Old Testament, a Jewish Bible, then you're talking about a lot more than the Torah. You're talking about the prophets, you're talking about love poetry called Song of Songs, you're talking about the book of Esther and Purim. There's lots more. So the difference between a Bible and the Torah is in the Torah we only have 5 books. Now, why are there so many in here? At one time, this congregation was massively large. In fact, when I was in college, I would sing for high holidays in this huge convention center downtown Miami, which held over 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people, because that's what Temple Israel became during the high holidays, thousands of people. And we had Torahs in this room, we've had Torahs in our chapel, we had Torahs down south in our small congregation we had there. So there are many Torahs here. And some of them are very old and fragile, and we don't even use them anymore because we're worried that they have things in them that need to be repaired, and we don't want to hurt them. But the Torah is our lifeblood. It's everything that we need. It's all the things that we need. And it's not just the words in there, but how they've been interpreted over centuries. And they were interpreted by rabbis who created what's called the Talmud. And the Talmud has thousands and thousands of pages. You couldn't learn it all during your lifetime. That's why we are the people of the book. And there's arguments in there on how one rabbi says it should be done this way, another rabbi says it should be done that way, another rabbi tells you when you lean, it's because you're doing this. It goes on and on. So the learning never ends, and it's that learning that has been embedded in all of us through generations to learn. And that's why we continue to grow as a people, and we also try to continue to grow in terms of the things that we give to this world, because God blessed us with the ability and the knowledge to know that we only become greater at being who we are if we add to our spirit and to our Torah learning. So I want to talk to you, though, about tonight something just a little bit different. I want to talk to you about the bravery of some women. So tonight's Torah portion was perfect for me because I think of many questions that many of us struggle with when we are reading Torah, and how is it that women didn't protest the social order of the times? But in this parashat this weekend, this section of the Torah we're reading, which is called Pinchas, we finally get a story that is relevant to this question. So let me share a little with you. So Pinchas was this very religious zealot. He brutally put an end to the plague inflicted on the Israelites for straying, committing adultery, and intermarrying Moabite and Midianite women. After reading this very difficult passage and having mixed views in my mind of the brutality and was he really creating his own laws, we luckily move on to the counting of the Israelites, giving mention to the main families in each of the tribes. When the counting reaches the tribe of Menashe, as it lists Menashe's sons, we are unexpectedly introduced to the 5 daughters of someone named Tzlafchad. He has 5 daughters. We are introduced to his daughters, Machla, Noah, Chagla, Milcah, and Tirzah. They were not exactly the names I would name my kids, but it was a different time and age. If you name me any one of those, I would have had major problems. They are mentioned by name nonchalantly, like it's totally natural to have 5 women mentioned as part of counting the Israelites. That wasn't heard of. When we counted Israelites, we counted men. We counted viable young men who could fight in the army. We were not counting women at that time. It's a different day. So why? What makes the story so totally unique in the Bible is that these 5 women, members of what is essentially an oppressed group within society, are willing to come forward without hesitation and approach Moses, demanding to alter the social order. Demanding. First of all, we're speaking about 5 women who are minor characters in the biblical narrative. We're not talking on the same wavelength as someone like Miriam, Moses' sister, or Ruth, a Moabite woman who married an Israelite. Secondly, they are mentioned by name and not referred to by the relationship they had with a man, like the daughter of. And thirdly, these 5 women totally break protocol, and they speak directly with Moses. No questions asked. Even though just a couple of weeks ago, we read from Parashat Behalotecha, we were introduced to a very organized judicial structure. But these women, on the other hand, they go right to the top, just like I've always taught my kids. Seems like really good parenting from a strong mother and father, doesn't it? Just go right to the top. Imagine the scene. Here is Moses, out somewhere in the desert. He's holding court under some huge tree or in a tent surrounded by men. Suddenly, you hear all kinds of muttering amongst the men, perhaps some cursing as well. And as these girls push their way through this enormous crowd and go right up to the front, and they basically shout out, "Slicha, excuse me." Now they begin to challenge the law of the land, which dictates that property which belonged to a man who has no sons to inherit it is transferred to the nearest male relative. Male. So if you, Laura, you're one example, for instance. Your parents would have to, whatever inheritance they have, they would not give it to you. They would have to give it, that's right. You can roll your eyes, is right. They have to give it to a male relative because you're not worthy of it. But the good news is it's 2022, and they're going to give you everything. I've had a long talk with Mom. Anyway, we'll talk about it later, Rebecca. But anyway, so what happens is they now begin to challenge the law of the land, which dictates that property which belonged to a man who has no sons to inherit it is transferred to, as I told you, to the nearest male relative. The Hebrew text becomes very dramatic at this point. And they say, these 5 girls, they say, Lama Yigara Shem Avinu. Let not our father's name be lost to this clan just because he has no sons. They demand the opportunity to carry on their father's name as women, just like many of us might marry but keep our maiden name as I kept mine, Nelson. The outcome of this story is that Moses takes the demands to God, and God deems their request as fair. The law is changed so that in lieu of sons, daughters can inherit land under certain restrictions. That was really so far beyond its time. So what is the takeaway from Parashat Pinchas? The story shines light on women who sought equality and innovation and possibly obtained some form of leadership in biblical times, like Deborah. I wouldn't go as far as to call these women feminists, but I would call them strong women who did not let fear hold them back from the heredity that they deserved and that the things that belonged to them from their father, that they should inherit. This story also points out that even in biblical times, laws were changed and altered, sometimes for the better and sometimes for the worst, as it is with us here in 2022. Sometimes for the better, and definitely sometimes for the worst. Yes. Like so many of you, I wonder what kind of world I'm going to leave for my daughters. I'm wondering what kind of world you beautiful people, you young people, are going to have. I wonder about my son-in-laws, and God willing, little tiny Nelson something's offspring that I might be blessed to have someday for my children. Will they have the courage to speak up against those things they deem unfair? Will they march and protest and challenge government and laws that strip them of their equality and their independence? I really don't have the answer, and neither do you. We only have the values and morals that we've instilled in them and constantly instill in them, and hopefully they will have the courage, like the daughters of Tzlofechad, and that was the father of the 5 girls, to push themselves to the very front of the line, and we will shout, "I need to be heard, my voice counts, and I count." Amen. Now I will sing for you a piece that was written by one of my colleagues. I'll just get it on Julie Silver, and I thought it was perfect for an ending to this sermon. Come back. 1 second. Electronics. Okay, I'm ready. It's called Count Me In. I have been wondering what this day would bring me. I have been wondering what more I can do. Now here I am facing the Torah, my people, my family and friends, facing myself too. I have been walking beside many others. We all started this journey a long time ago. A lifetime of living and learning together. With each new beginning, each of us will too. Count me in, I can stand up and be a part. Count me in, let me find my own way. For I can be counted on, so I'm accountable. Count me in today. We're getting older, each day is a challenge. The more we are tested, the stronger we'll be. And we find strength in the love that surrounds us, strength for ourselves, for our community. Count me in, I can stand up and be a part. Count me in, let me find my own way. For I can be counted on, so I'm accountable. Count me in today. I've been studying, I've been practicing. You might think that I finished the job, but the truth is, it's just the beginning. And I want to see what the world that I live in can be. Life's always changing, we're starting all over, aren't we? A new day is breaking for me and my friends. Make a commitment, a covenant sacred. Choose to go forward, our pathway never ends. So count me in, I can stand up and be a part. Count me in, let me find my own way. For I can be counted on, so I'm accountable. Count me in today. May God bless each and every one of us. The feeling that we can be counted and that we are also accountable. And may we grow stronger with each moment of challenge in our lives, and never let our words be hushed, and never let our feet be kept from marching, never allow us to be held back from those things that we so strongly believe in. We're at the time of the service now where we're coming to the Misha Berach. There are many kinds of Misha Berachs. Everyone thinks a Misha Berach is a blessing just for someone that's ill. There are many kinds. There are Misha Berachs for B'nai Mitzvah. There's Misha Berachs for all kinds of people. But the one that I am precisely doing tonight is one for those who have been ill. If you know anyone who is suffering from illness, emotional, physical, or yourself, and you'd like to have their names mentioned, put them in the chat. And please, if you want to raise your hand, I'll call on you, and you can just shout out the name. Ruth Greenfield? Yes. Thank you. Sue? Thank you. Sarah? Yes, thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes. Thank you. I'm hearing some names out there tonight of people I know and have loved for many, many years. So I wish everybody a refuah shlema, a full recovery to some kind of health and quality of life. So we'll sing a Misha Berach. Shabbat on page 253. Mi shebeirach Avoteinu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu yevarech v'yirapeh et hacholim Elna Rifana la Elna Rifana la Elna Rifana la Elna Rifana la Bishemerach Avoteinu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu yevarech v'yirapeh et hacholim Hu yevarech v'yirapeh et hacholim. We continue on page 282 with the words of the Aleinu, 282. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא נעשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, בגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 284 שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפר זולתו ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשבותה אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad. You may be seated. I'm going to start with an apology if I read any name tonight that is not correct. Please say it out loud wherever you are, and forgive me that I don't know all of these names, but a lot of them I also recognize from my years at Temple Israel. Tonight, we're going to say Kaddish for Tova Migdal, who has recently departed. And for your side this evening, we'll say the names William Allen Vermont, Norman Brown, Daniel Cromer, Louis Deitch, Elsie Dreyfus, Alexander Dreyfus, Abraham Farber, Samuel Morris Freed, Evelyn Gaines, Louis Goldman, Max Goldstein, Charles H. Held, Richard Helfman, Ray Hart Hoffman, Stanley H. Camero, Lottie Lavin, Joseph C. Lerner, Lawrence Shear Levinson, Esther Levinson, Carolyn D. Lomaskin, Martha Mayer, Benjamin Myers, Sophia Novell, Martin Parness, Victoria Bickhow Richard, Miriam Shabsis, Egmont Sonderling, Ellery Stone, Marion May Suter, Nancy Tolmach, Herman Waterstone, Sadie Walensky, and Jenny Zients. Are there any names that were not called that you would like to stand and say Kaddish for before we invite everyone? Any other names, anyone out there that is commemorating someone at this time? Then if we'd all rise together as one community for our mourners in their support and turn to page 294 for the Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'agalah u'v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lomei omayah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsho barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran b'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Maker of peace in the heavens above, you who hold in your loving arms those people that have molded us, shaped us, those people who have touched our lives in ways we cannot even begin to describe. Dear God, watch over all of us, the mourners here on this earth, all of us who know loss, all of us who know that tremendous sense of that dark hole of loneliness. May you watch over us and help us to see the light again. And to this we say, Amen. So stay up, because I'm going to do Kiddush, and then I'm going to come down for Motzi and our closing song. And when I come down for the closing song, those of you that are comfortable, you kind of create a kind of a circle, and we'll you don't have to join hands if you don't want to. Whatever you want, you can join elbows. It's a safer thing anyway. You know, the hands actually carry more germs than your mouth, believe it or not. So you can clasp hands, and we'll sing our closing Oseh Shalom. But first, let me just do a short Kiddush. Actually, I think we'll take the Kiddush and the Challah, and we'll come down. Paula, would you mind helping me? Mark, would you come get the Kiddush wine? 1 second, hold on. Okay, and I'll get my music and my book. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen, amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava u'bratzon, hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu bacharta ve'otanu mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon, hin
v'nechaltanu. Get ready. Baruch atah Adonai. Mekadesh HaShabbat. 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 Amen. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. You can all grab a little piece. You can pass the plate around and pull it, and that piece belongs to you. And we'll close with the words Oseh Shalom. Again, I want to thank Pat. I want to thank Maria. I want to thank Alex. I want to thank little Lila. I want to thank Reagan and his dad, Lee. I want to thank Paula, Brian, whose face I'm going to miss so much, all our campers that came home healthy, all of you that are joining us tonight and making us feel like a community. Grow with us, and we're going to grow with you. So, Oseh Shalom. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom. B'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oseh Shalom. B'imromav. Oseh Shalom. B'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Reagan, you give a piece to Lila. Hu ya'aseh, tiny little piece. Hu ya'aseh shalom. No, baby? Aleinu. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the one who make peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom.